Hello guys, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Grow Garden series. So in today's episode, we will be adding modifiers to our existing trees. So in the last episode, we made the trees have an animation when you plant them. And today we want to add modifiers. So in Grow Garden, there's modifiers like in many other games, which can make the trees golden or rainbow or anything else that you want. So we are going to make this today. So without further ado, if you like what I do, if you like my content, just make sure to subscribe, like, and maybe comment what you want to see in the next episode and what I could improve. Okay, so now we got our main server here in the server script, and we now need some kind of module script or table to handle our modifiers. So in the replicate storage, I'm going to add a new module script, and likely to the plant definitions, I'm going to also change this to modifier definitions. So now that we got the modifier definitions, we can start to, well, create them. So I'm just going to return a table here. And then there's going to be all the modifiers. So for now, I'm going to make a golden modifier. Like this. And I'm also going to make a rainbow modifier. So we have a golden and a rainbow modifier. So now I also want to go in the replicate storage, and like I have the SFX folder, I want to add another folder and rename this to VFX. And now in the golden, I want to give it some attributes. So the name is going to be golden. The tag, I'll get the comma. The tag, which will be displayed in items and stuff, will just be golden like this. Can't write. Golden. Then our chance is going to be 1 in, let's say, for testing purposes, 2. Then our color modifier, I'm going to make a nice color for golden. And yeah, then our VFX folder is then going to be replicate storage, and then yeah, we can make a separate folder for them, but we can also just store them in the VFX. And then we can make another folder for the modifiers. And then I'm gonna make a new folder in there and call this golden. And in this golden thing, I'm gonna add a new folder for the VFX. And in there, I'm gonna add my particle emitter. So then I'm gonna get the wait for child golden. Modifiers. Text.modifiers, wait for child golden, and wait for child VFX. Now that we got the folder set up, we can go ahead and also add a price multiplier, which is going to be 2. So for the rainbow, I'm not having to put a color modifier and also not a VFX folder, because I want the rainbow to color change, and we are going to do this per script. So I'm going to make the rainbow 1 and 5 just for testing too. I'm just gonna change the names to rainbow, and the price I'm gonna get up to 5. So this is it for our modifier definitions. So now we want to actually implement them. So inside our plant manager, we want to scroll all the way up and also require our modifier definitions like this. Then we want to go a bit down since we didn't do the role for modifier last video, so we are going to add a new function called role for modifier, and this is going to accept a player, which is of course a player. Then we could, so we are accepting the player to maybe get a game pass. So this is where you would add game passes and stuff. So I'm gonna give you an example. So maybe you want to add premium, like premium advantages. So when you buy Roblox Premium, you get like double the chance or like 10% more chance. So we're gonna do this. So for the game pass, I'm just gonna add a has pass. I'm gonna set this to false for right now. So this is where you would check for pass. And yeah, then the local is premium. It's just gonna go for the player dot membership type is equal to enum dot membership type dot premium. And I'm putting this in brackets so it gives me a clear value. So then we want to do for name, comma def, in pairs modifier definitions, do. We get the chance, which is equal to def.chance, or 0. If the name is equal to rainbow, so this is just a specific case now. So you could apply this for, so normally these games have a pass for the rainbow chance. So if you want to have a game pass for the rainbow chance that increases the rainbow chance, then you just write it in here. And if you just want to increase the gold chance, you just replace this to gold or golden. So I'm going to just add this for the rainbow. So the local multiplier is going to be equal to 1. If has pass, then multiplier is equal to multiplier times 2 end. So if the user has the pass, then we just pump up the multiplier to twice. And if it's premium, then the multiplier is going to be equal to multiplier times 1.1. So we add 10% more luck. And then the chance, not the chat, the chance is going to be equal to math.min. And we want to min the chance multiplied by the multiplier and 1. So it can never go over 1. So then if math.random is less than chance, then we want to return the name. And just like this, we got ourselves a nice selection function for getting a modifier. And you can add however many passes and things in here. So if you maybe you want to add a pass for golden, then you just want to pump this up to golden and maybe add a new variable for the has pass golden and so on. You get what I mean. So you can just add infinite stuff here. So now for the role for modifiers, we actually want to use it in our functions. So let me just see where we got it. So in the plant seed, so let's scroll a bit down. In the plant seed, we want to get the modifier, which is currently nil. So we delete to do and the nil, and we just put this for role for modifier, and we get the player. Now we have a modifier. And now we want to scroll down, and here we pass the modifier into the spawn tree model. So this is exactly what we want to do. So let's scroll up into the spawn tree model, and here we get the modifier too. So let's see why we use the modifier, and we would use it down here. So let's go ahead and create the script for the modifier. So we want to get the local mod definition from our modifier definitions script, which is going to be equal to modifier definitions and indexing this with the modifier or just a blank table. If the modifier, so this is just for my specific case right now, since I want to make parts or objects with the rainbow modifier change their color always. So I want them to be rainbow. So I'm making a specific case for if the modifier is equal to rainbow. So if you don't want to add this, you don't have to. So for every part in iPairs, and we want to get the model, and we want to get the descendants of that model, and we want to check if the part is a base part, and if yes, then we want to do coroutine dot wrap. We want to wrap a function. We want to wrap while part dot parent do local hue is going to be equal to, and then let's use tick like times 0.2 and then module it by 1. This should kind of do the trick, I think. And then we want to get the parts color and change this to color from HSV, and we get the hue and 1 and 1. And then we want to wait 0.1 seconds. And since it's function, we also have to add the function brackets back here. I know this looks a bit weird, but without them, it wouldn't run. So then we want another option. So if the modifier is not rainbow, if the moddef dot color modifier, then we want to pretty much just get the same thing. Yeah, thanks Roblox that I just got rid of my entire work. So yeah, we check if it's a base part. And what we want to also check is if the part is a mesh part, then the parts.texture ID is going to be equal to nothing. And okay. And we can just do it like this. Let me just shut off my AC real quick since it's gonna get too warm in here. So, okay. Then we also want to check if the moddef.vfx folder, then for underscore comma vfx in ipairs moddef.vfx folder get children do. Then we want to clone the vfx and set its parent equal to the model, and we want to find first child 1. And lastly, we want to set the attributes of the modifier to the modifier. Just like this. So then what we also want to do is, let me check if I missed anything. No, we got this. We got this. Okay, so this is going to be for the harvest tree. We aren't going to make this today. This is also going to be for the harvest tree. We also don't need that. And this is also going to be for the harvest tree. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Then let's check if we need anything else. This is for the cell event. We also don't need this. This is for the cell event as well. This is for the cell event too. This too. And this too. Okay, so this is probably going to be it for the modifiers. So let's go ahead and test this out. So when we plant a tree, we have 50% chance to have it golden or just nothing. Right, great. Now we got a golden tree. You can see that the color is changed. And we also have the VFX in the one part. So you can see it's not in every part, it's just in the one part. If you want to change this, you just go to the plant definitions, to the plant manager, and you just apply this for every part in the model. Okay, so let's see the rainbow tree in action. If I'm lucky enough to get one, of course. I'm of course not lucky enough to get one, or it's just not working. Let's check if any of those trees is gonna be rainbow. So let's check. This has no modifier. This also does not. This is golden. Golden, golden, golden. Okay, it appears that we don't have any rainbow trees planted yet. If I'm not mistaken. No, we don't have any rainbow trees planted. So I maybe just was unlucky. Let's try to plant some other ones. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we got a rainbow tree. And you can see that, yeah, it's changing its colors. Also, someone in the Discord found this bug. If you just place a tree under yourself, you can see that it kind of grows on top of you, and you can also plant trees not on top of other trees, but yeah, you can just plant trees on yourself. We don't want that to happen, so we are gonna add a function that always places the trees on the ground to ensure that the trees get planted on the ground rather than somewhere else. So what we want to do is in our offline manager to scroll up a bit, and in the place model on grounds, we want to filter the descendant instances of the model, the workspace plots, and our player. Yeah, let's also offer every player. So what we want to do is, okay, so for this we want to add every player to the blacklist. So what we want to do is we want to make a local blacklist, and we want to set this to this, and then we want to set this to the blacklist. Now what we want to do is for underscore comma player in ipairs players gets players do if the player dot character then table dot inserts blacklist the player dot character, like this. And yeah, I think that's just gonna be it. So now let's try this out again. Let's try planting something beneath us, and you can see that it doesn't work anymore. We just get pushed away. Okay, so this is gonna be it for today's episode. Please just give me another rainbow tree I want to showcase. Thanks. Okay. So yeah, this is gonna be it for today's episode. You can now add how many modifiers you want, and yeah, make sure before you release your game to change the modifier definitions chances back to the normal chances, not your testing chances, because otherwise this can be extremely overpowered. Especially if you have higher price multipliers, players just gonna have infinite amount of coins. So yeah, make sure you take note of that. And yeah, thank you for watching as always, and see you in the next episodes. Peace.